Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Music Mondays podcast. I'm your host, Dom Slays. Welcome, my friends. Happy Monday. Today is June 23rd, 2025. I hope you're well. I hope you're chilling. My name is Dom Slays. I'll be your host for tonight, and this is episode 231 of the Music Mondays podcast. Hope you're well. Hope you're chilling. How are you feeling, my friends? What's going down? Um, stacked week for you guys. Lots to discuss, lots to go through, lots to get down. Plenty of submissions tonight. We're gonna have a good show. We're totally gonna have a good show. Hope everybody had a good weekend. It is actually extremely fucking hot on the East Coast, man. It is going to be, I think, close to like 100 degrees tomorrow, and then it's gonna be like a 100 plus like heat index. So yeah, definitely try to like stay indoors and stay cool, man, because that heat will fucking catch up on you, man. That heat will fuck you up. That's for sure. But regardless, you guys know the drill. Let's get into it. Let's get down to business. So, first things first, we're gonna talk about the Music Mondays recap. Let's talk about what you missed at Music Mondays over the course of the last week or so. So, per usual, Music Mondays basic logo t-shirts are still available and in stock. We still have smalls, mediums, larges. We are currently sold out of double XLs. So again, if you'd like to order one for $20 flat shipping across the United States, definitely let us know. Send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email. You'll be seeing some promo stuff go out for that. I think we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Yeah, I think we'll talk about that later on in the show. But regardless, you guys know the drill. Definitely let us know if that has any interest to you. So, outside of that, let's see here. Following that, every single Tuesday following the live show, early access Music Mondays content is available on our Patreon. So again, if you missed the live show here on Twitch, and you are Music Mondays Patreon, you have access to every single Music Mondays VOD that we've uploaded ever. So again, if you want to go clip it, download it, record it, do anything like that with the full high quality version, that is over there every single Tuesday following the live show. And of course, submissions open every single Tuesday for the Music Mondays podcast. So again, make sure you keep your eyes peeled and stay up to date when submissions do go live for the show. So that will be every single Tuesday. Most of you guys know that, but for those of you that are new here, every single Tuesday. Let's see. So, Stack Tuesday heading into Wednesday. Every single Wednesday, SoundCloud Sunday submissions do open. So again, if you're interested in our weekly SoundCloud playlist that drops every single Sunday, definitely send us a message, send us a DM. Make sure you follow us on socials and stay up to date, because those submissions do open every single Wednesday. And then, of course, heading into Wednesday night, we do some audio podcast promo for the show dropping the following day. So, pretty decent Wednesday. Heading into Thursday, we dropped a brand new YouTube upload on the Music Mondays YouTube channel, where we kind of dove into the summer 2025 update and what's to come when it comes to our summer event and things like that. So, if you want any more details on that, definitely go check that out and go show that some love, because that is available right now on the Music Mondays YouTube channel. And make sure you subscribe and go check out the channel. I think we're only 4 subs away from 320, so we're finally starting to climb past 300, man, which was a fucking journey. That was a journey. But yeah, new uploads every Thursday, every Saturday. So definitely go check out the Music Mondays YouTube channel. And then of course, episode 230 of the Music Mondays podcast does drop on audio platforms every single Thursday. So again, you can go rewatch the episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon, wherever you listen to podcasts. The Music Mondays podcast is available over there every single Thursday in audio formats. Let's see. So that was Thursday. Stack Thursday per usual. Heading into Friday, a brand new article by the homie I Don't Know Young Jay is available right now. They did a pretty decent breakdown when it comes to some unreleased material from an artist known as Clown Cat. So definitely go check that out and go show Jay and Clown Cat some love. That's a W read, and of course a really good way to kick off the weekend. So heading into Saturday, episode 230 of the Music Mondays podcast does drop on the Music Mondays YouTube channel every single Saturday. So if you prefer to go watch the show on YouTube, you should want to go put it on the background. You should want to go record it over there as well. That is available every single Saturday, and episode 230 is available right now. So definitely go check that out. Go show that some love. Let's see. That was Saturday. Decent Saturday per usual. Heading into Sunday, SoundCloud Sunday Volume 192 is available right now on the Music Money SoundCloud. That was curated by me, cover art by me. So definitely go check that out. Go show that some love. Huge shout out to everybody that's been submitting to SoundCloud Sunday as well. SoundCloud Sunday always goes like up and down. You know what I mean? Sometimes we get like 5 submissions. Sometimes we get like 20. You know what I mean? Because SoundCloud's one of those like very not linear kind of platform. So again, huge shout out to everybody that is submitting to SoundCloud Sunday. And again, volume 192 is available right now, so go check that out. And submissions do open every single Wednesday. Let's see here. So that's pretty much it. That takes us to today, Monday, episode 231. We're here live on June 23rd. That was your weekly recap, and that's pretty much everything major you missed at Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so, or over the course of the last week or so, I should say. But make sure you go follow us on socials and stay up to date with any emergency announcements or the majority of our announcements on social media. So, W recap. Let's talk about what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so. That, my friends, is going to be fun. So, like I said last week, we've been pretty much in the trenches with the new summer events. Because like I said, this is something that we haven't done before. And it's been something that I really want to get started in and kind of like introduce in like a proper way. You know what I mean? So, when it comes to our summer event, that's like our big thing that we're trying to focus on. Because again, it's something that we haven't done before. And then we actually got a tweet recently by the homie Ghost, who frequents the Music Mondays podcast. Ghost actually asked us to do Song Wars or something adjacent. And that's actually somewhat similar to what we're going to be putting out, but it's going to be a little bit more detailed and a little bit more long term. So again, this will be like a bigger event for everybody, and that's going to be something that I'm really excited about. But like I said, we're going to use this like last week of June to really finalize everything for July. And then once July comes, we should be able to like kind of finalize flyers and guidelines and things like that. And then we'll be able to put the event out. So we are up to our necks when it comes down to the summer events. That's pretty much like the main thing that's taking up the staff's time. And then of course, keeping up with our regular content schedule, right? Articles every Friday, new videos every Thursday, every Saturday. Obviously the podcast every single Monday, and then all of our submissions. So a lot of that regular content will always be staying the same. But that's like what the next couple of weeks is going to look like, because we're really focusing on this event. And then we're going to be kind of bringing back a few different types of interviews as well. Workshop Wednesday's coming back on the YouTube channel. Feature Friday's coming back, like I said last week. So we'll be bringing back a lot of the classic segments that we did in previous months. So that'll be exciting too. But again, nothing really major is changing here when it comes down to the Music Mondays platform. So again, make sure you stay up to date and make sure you follow us on socials with everything that we do have going on. So, that's like pretty much everything major, like super, super major when it comes down to the Music Mondays platform and everything you need to know that's happening over the next like coming months. So, we did recap. We did what's coming on Music Mondays. Shit, what's next? Oh yeah, let's talk recruiting. So definitely recruiting. Music Mondays is on the hunt for all of our staff roles. We are interested in writers, journalists, curators, designers. You want to do short form media, you want to do long form media, you want to do anything like that, definitely send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email. Resume definitely preferred but not required. If you're somebody new to the scene who wants to get into underground independent media but don't really know where to start, we're always willing to show you the ropes and help you get your feet wet. So again, definitely send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email. And we do have a Music Mondays role guide that got updated for 2025, where I kind of broke down the Music Mondays staff roles, what's their schedule like, what's their content like, and things like that. So if you want any more details on that, definitely send us a message or to go check out that video. So again, Music Mondays is recruiting. Let's see here. So what's next? Outside of that, let's see. So let's talk SoundCloud exclusives. So again, we are on the hunt for SoundCloud exclusives. We are only interested in unreleased tracks to host on the Music Monday SoundCloud. So again, if you like to have that hosted on our SoundCloud and of course promoted for completely for free across all of our social media, definitely let us know. Send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email. If that's something you're interested in, definitely let us know. Because again, we're only interested in unreleased material. So if you want to go distribute the track to all platforms, or you want to go kind of do a music video for it or anything like that, that's totally fine with us. So again, we're only interested in the unreleased SoundCloud exclusive. So send us a DM, send us an email, send us a message, and we'll totally be happy to have that conversation with you. So, outside of that, let's see here. YouTube stuff. So same goes for YouTube. Again, if you have an unreleased YouTube music video, visual, AMV, lyric video, even if you just want some audio hosted on the Music Mondays YouTube channel, and of course promote it across all of our social media for completely free, definitely let us know. Send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email, and we'd be happy to have that conversation for you. So like I said, same goes for YouTube. So let's see. I think we're good there. So we did weekly recap. We did what's coming on Music Mondays. We did recruiting. We did SoundCloud stuff. I don't think there's anything else super major. There's a couple of segments I want to get done on the show here, especially when it comes down to like more discussion topics. But I think this week I just want to pretty much update you guys on Music Mondays merch and where that's at. So again, like I say at the top of the show, every single week we do have a few smalls, some mediums, and some larges of the basic Music Mondays logo t-shirt, and we're gonna promote those one last time with like a decent lookbook from all the pictures that we got that everybody that did purchase a shirt already, because we have a decent amount of them. So I want to go run back and repost those and make sure that everybody knows that we do still have a little bit left in stock. So again, if that interests you, definitely let us know. Send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email, because those we definitely want to get off, and then eventually do another merch run that's a little bit different, something that's like more entertaining or anything like that. But maybe not this year, but definitely in 2026. So we just want to focus on what we have left when it comes down to stock. And then if some demand comes in for it, then we'll eventually either do the basic logo again or maybe switch up some colors or anything like that. But like I said, we do have smalls, mediums, larges, and we're sold out of double XLs as well. And then of course, $20 flat including shipping. So again, just $20 flat and we'll take care of shipping. And shipping only in the United States, just because shipping outside of America is actually brutal. Unless you're willing to front that cost, I don't recommend it, and I don't want you to. But we actually had a few people ask about that. But again, shipping in the United States only, just because I don't want to tax you guys and have you pay more than the actual item, right, in shipping. So that would be kind of whack. So keep that in mind. But again, send us a message, send us a DM, send us an email if you'd like to organize that, and we'll have that shipped out to you ASAP. And of course, this will be uploaded on the Music Mondays YouTube channel. So again, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go like the video and all that good jazz, because we do upload 2 times a week. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments just like this, underground tips and tricks, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show this video, these artists, and the channel some love. Let's get it, baby. Well done. Well done. We got Ghost in the chat. Welcome on in, my friend. Good timing. Hope you're well. All right. So, let's see here, my friends. I think we're about good to go. We actually ran through content super quick tonight. So, I'm excited. Let's get into it. Let's pop over to Twitter and see what our submissions are looking like for tonight. Okay. So, good, just came back from the... Okay, let's get it, baby. I hope you had a good time. Let's go. We love that. We love that. All right. So we pop over to Twitter. You guys know the drill. Submissions are always in the same format every single week, and they'll always read artists and creative submissions open for live reviews on Music Mondays, live on June 23rd, 2025. And like I said, submissions are always in the same format every single week. The only thing that does change is the date. So make sure you're submitting for a podcast show that has not happened yet, and you're good to go. And then, of course, twitch.tv/ZonPlays, which is the home of the Music Mondays podcast. And then if you'd like to have your music, artwork, fashion, or digital creations, drop your links and portfolio below. Of course, contrary to our name, Music Mondays, we've reacted to pretty much everything here on the show. Everything from, obviously, music, instrumentals, remixes, covers, YouTube edits, music videos, visuals, AMVs, lyric videos, videography, photography, merch, unreleased. So whatever you have that you feel like deserves some spotlight here on the Music Mondays podcast, definitely drop your links and portfolios below. All art forms are welcome. And we do have a 3-hour show limit just to make sure the show is a little bit more palatable to watch back, and we make sure that we can bring you the highest quality show possible every single Monday. Because again, we are one of the only weekly live shows here on Twitch every single Monday that does live reactions. So again, sometimes a 3+ hour show can get a little bit crazy to watch back, but not as crazy as our earlier shows where we used to do 5-6 hours and it was fucking insane. So just keep that in mind. We do have a 3-hour show limit. And of course, submissions are free. They always have been free. They always will be free. But outside of that, we do ask that you are following the Music Mondays podcast on Twitter to be eligible. Because again, that not only helps spread our message and support our platform, but that pays respect to everybody else that does wait for their submissions to be reacted to every single week. And then, of course, you gain access to a wide community of very talented and friendly creatives. So, kind of a win-win. Outside of that, if you are subscribed to the Music Mondays Patreon at any tier, you gain access to a whole bunch of goodies, but outside of that, you gain access to the Music Mondays Fast Pass, which, like I said, if you're subscribed at any tier, allows for all of your submissions for the duration that you're pledged to the Music Mondays podcast to be played first here on the show. So that not only guarantees that you get played first, but it guarantees that your submission even gets played, because sometimes we get upwards of 30-40 submissions, and that's a crazy amount for like one show. So again, if you'd like to have your submission guaranteed that it gets played, definitely go check out the Music Mondays Patreon and go show that some love. And huge shout out to all of our current Music Mondays patrons. You guys are fucking wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So again, just keep that in mind. Outside of that, I think the last thing that we do got to mention is submissions do close about a couple hours before the show starts. So again, you have about a week or so to get your submissions in, like 6.5 days. I would say, a good rule of thumb is that if the show is already live, submissions are definitely closed. Because again, we like to keep the show pretty free flow. And again, we are a live show, so we don't like to, bounce around and get all kinds of crazy links or anything like that. Or also, we don't like to keep messing up the order with later submissions. So we like to keep the order pretty organic. Outside of that, I think that's pretty much everything you need to know about the Music Mondays podcast. If you'd like any more information about the show, the lore in the show, why we take submissions on Twitter, how the show came to be, we do have a how to submit to the Music Mondays podcast guide that got updated for 2025 on the Music Mondays YouTube channel. So definitely go check that out. Go show that some love. And let's see. I think that's pretty much it, my friends. I think we're good. I think we're good to go. So let's see how many Patrons we do have for tonight. It was sick. Let's go. We love that. We always love a good time, my friend. I did check earlier. I think we have 3 almost back to back. I'm pretty sure we almost have 3 back to back. So, nobody else snuck in at the top, right? No. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, so our first Patreon tonight is going to be the homie Jordan. And then we're going to go from Jordan to TDG. And then we're going to go from TDG to Laveries. And then we're going to go from top to bottom like usual. So, let's get into it. Up next, we got the homie Jordan. Jordan, a long-standing Music Mondays veteran and an artist that has had a extremely stellar 2025. I always have to kick off Jordan's submissions with that because, the transition from 2024 into 2025 has just been not only extremely noticeable, but a real pleasure to watch, to be honest with you. Like, a real pleasure. So, this week they came through with a track titled Their World and War in brackets, which I think is very interesting. So, let's see what we got here. Jordan's been hitting the nail on the head with their submissions recently. Whether it's been some real creative from the heart shit or some super meaningful stuff, it's been very interesting. But the only description is the upside down smiley face, which I thought was kind of funny. I'm down. I'm gonna assume obviously Prod Jordan, Mix Jordan, and cover art by Jordan, all that good jazz. But let's get into it. Jordan, Their World.
Don't even try to hide the camera smile. Welcome to the database. Clean up a
Okay.
body piles just to make some space. Horizons growing mushroom clouds, and when it fades away, we'll have to put them all on trial. Somebody has to pay another war because they want it. Yeah, they got it. Been here before, and now the people are responding. Break through the door, you ever looking for a tyrant? Crown hits the floor, yeah, destroy it if you find it. Blood on the timeline, the only thing they feed into. If you can close your eyes, I'm sorry, you have deep issues. Better hope you're right, but there's no way that this thing miss you. I swing, hit you, dealing with this sword in my hand, don't let this thing split you. Feeling like it's part of the plan for some to ignore the smoke, must be nice. I'm spending summer nights thinking about physical change, melting the ice under the chemical rain, kicking canisters back, searching for the aid promised. Did they lie to me? I was told we live in this society. I'm not looking far, the way it looks just keep finding me. It's all assigned to me, it's always time to me. It's all by design, you see, they spelled it out. Now they call it a mandate. Stay strong in your resistance, this is only plan A. Another war because they want it, yeah they got it. Been here before and now the people are responding. Break through the door, yeah we're looking for a tyrant. Crown hits the floor, they destroy it if you find it.
Wow. That backing vocal is crazy. That backing vocal is fucking crazy. You know, another really powerful message from the homie Jordan, and you know, I spoke about this a couple weeks ago. I don't think it was last week, but I think it was the week before. And man, this is really how you make a difference as an artist. And you know, it really helps people. You know, this is one of those tracks that like somebody could hear and easily relate to, or just get their mind off shit, or just like kind of take the words out of people's mouths, you know, or even say things that people can't put into words, you know. So I think stuff like this is super important for artists and listeners alike. I think the world needs this kind of stuff for sure. Jordan always goes hard. I agree. But there's a lot to say about this one, so let's talk about it. Let's break it down. We're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of their world. Man. So let's start small. Let's talk about the instrumental. Instrumental mix. I mean, really fantastic, to be honest with you, especially with everything going on. The drums are great. That snare really sticks out, but in like a nice way. Drums are great. Sound selection's great. I mean, vocals sit nice. I didn't really notice anything that I had a gripe with. I mean, that's not really a shocker though, because Jordan's really had a solid mix throughout this whole year. I mean, if we're just talking strictly 2025, it's not a surprise. You know what I mean? Like their mixes really hit like a nice middle ground for almost any style or sound. So instrumental mix definitely solid. Instrumental Shining Star. You know, that backing vocal is actually really crazy. But you know, the melody's up there, but I feel like Jordan really killed these drums. Bouncy, keeps up the pace, but very like stern, you know. It's not like super happy like lighthearted drums. It's very serious kind of like listen up kind of drums. So between that and then the sound selection and the patterns, yeah, I kind of want to go drums here. Even though actually now I'm thinking about it, the structure is definitely up there. I feel like the structure could be like one of those underrated parts of this, but I'm gonna go with drums just because I really enjoyed them, to be honest with you. Real mix is solid. Yeah, totally. 100%. 100%. Um, so definitely the drums, instrumental great. Let's talk vocals though. Vocal mix again, really solid, especially for this. It's very like gritty, almost like raspy, kind of like again makes you take the song a little bit more serious, which I think is like super fucking important, you know, especially for a song like this, because you don't want to go too crazy with the mix and kind of like have it throw the song off. No, I think Jordan really nailed this one, and really came into their own when it came to like the delivery and like how they shape themselves around this track. So as far as mix goes, definitely no gripes at all, especially in terms of quality. Levels are solid, vocals sit nice, everything cuts through nicely. Nothing's really like bothering each other, you know. Again, not really a shocker. I speak about that a lot here on the show, but definitely something you always want to point out for anybody new here. So, vocal mix up there. Vocal Shining Star. Hmm. I knew this one was going to be kind of like hard for the vocals, right? Because the flow and cadence is up there. First of all, the writing and lyrics definitely, just because of the message alone. And then the vocal structure, like how everything's really structured out and how the vocals just like turned out on the track itself. Um, hmm. The obvious answer is really writing and lyrics, right? I mean, if you really think about it, but I really do like the flow and cadence and delivery, though. This one's kind of tough. I mean, let's go flow and cadence and delivery just because it enhances the message and lyrics so much. Because the message and lyrics is always going to be important on songs like this. But the delivery and the flow and the cadence and like how Jordan is presenting it, I think even emphasizes the message even more. Because again, you take it back to that serious factor. I feel like the flow helped with that a lot. So let's go flow and cadence and delivery. So instrumental solid, vocal solid. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. Again, one of those covers, man, especially for a single. Jordan and the Deadlighters and the Make More Creative Junk Crew have this style of like blending so many elements, but also like it's the style where like the more you look at it, the more you kind of see. Especially with this one, kind of having like this almost human figure in the middle that's like burning and then like almost all of it's smoke around him, and then everything around that white smoke is just all red, and it's really like a good visual representation of like war and like what war can do, and what war almost feels like, any kind of war really. So for this one, I feel like it's like a super powerful message. But of course, even then, like very aesthetically pleasing regardless. But cover aesthetics on point, overall theme, their world war. I mean, I could sit here and talk about this kind of stuff all night. I always reserve these conversations for like on stream or like on call, because like I always felt like talking about this sort of stuff like over text is like super hard, and like people don't understand like your tones or like how you're saying things or anything like that. So a lot gets lost in translation over text. But I like talking about these topics when it comes down to a video or something like that, or even stream, or like I said, on a call or a meeting, whatever. But yeah, it's a tough time for the world right now, and I think this is how artists can really make a difference to others, but more importantly themselves as well. Because it's very stressful trying to like continue to be a person and chase your dreams and try to stay focused when the world around you is so not only just like messed up, but it's so corrupt, and like there's so many people like letting it happen, right? And civilians, and even more specifically like the American people, right? It's just all become such a gray area. And I think one of the best ways to combat this in like a real healthy way, other than being active and fighting for what's right, I think putting it in your art is so fucking important. It really, really is, for your mental health, to spread the message out there and to keep people kind of aware. And this is a great way to show that you care too. So this is one of those things where I feel like it's like it can't be important enough, and I always recommend artists to do this. And not only just with like world events and like the world at the time, also you can do it with like what's going on in your life. If you have some fucked up shit going on in your life, use that same logic and kind of put it back into the art. And it's like healthy therapy to a degree. I mean, as musicians and artists and people in music and creators, like there's only so much we can do, right? Because we're not politicians, but we do have a voice. We do have a voice. So it's like, okay, let's use this voice in like a more constructive way. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's super important, and I'm really happy to see that other artists are really doing that. Jordan did it. I think we had a couple of submissions the other week. We had like 3 of these topics, and I was super impressed, because that's really what artists should be doing. You know what I mean? It's just very important. So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Jordan. Thank you so much for the submission. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow Jordan on SoundCloud. They're only 7 followers away from 100. That's a W milestone. And of course, make sure you go follow Jordan on Twitter. They're only 5 followers away from 410. So make sure you go show them some love. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 320 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. Yeah, you definitely get it, Ghost. You definitely get it. You definitely get it. That's for sure. Um, all right, so we left off with the homie Jordan. Up next is the homie TDG, a very talented hip hop artist, just came through with a new track titled "Never Not This." Now, TDG's had again a very stellar 2025 in terms of quality as well, like quality and just improving who they are as an artist, right? Between their mix, their flows and cadences, how they deliver things. So they've done a lot of improvements on the mechanical side, which I think is always really solid. So let's pop this, open a new tab. Let's see what we got here. I'm down, my friends. Let's get into it. All right, let's give it a little pause here. See, this one's sick too because I spoke about these like IRL kind of like throwback like childhood covers like a lot. And this is one of the ones that I think, almost every artist has used or will use eventually. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those ones where I feel like it's just always like a standard pick. I think that's really solid. Really, really solid. And we got TDG in the chat. Let's get it, baby. Welcome on and happy Monday. The proper form mixed by me, a little odd. Let's see. A little okay, okay. 9 months ago, yeah. So not like super new, but not like super, super old either. Calm down, let's get into it. TDG, never not this, let's go.
Yeah, I never not been this, I don't even know what else to be. Yeah, 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 since the shit been legit, they ridiculous, no quit all in, never been not this. True I am, locked in, never sit, moving, I don't miss, I'm through it, I won't listen, dipping, digging, I make moves, still fade, I'm picking it, since the shit been legit, they ridiculous, no quit all in, never been not this. True I am, locked in, never been, love this shit, fantastic, TDG, boombastic, TDG,
Wow.
can't move past him, TDG, last, he outlasting, move, yes I'm coming through, swoop, shoot, y'all don't know what to do, in my comments, so who are you, a fan, my list, A to Z, I got them plans, damn, what, I don't care who you came with, try again, I ain't the same kid, I'm a man, crazy, dangerous, thoughts who I'm hanging with, place I ain't staying in, I'm impatient, gotta make it out the matrix, amazing, how hard this makes is, my directions, they adjacent, contradicting, angels and demons on my shoulders, wow, like I hate when this be like, where's time, yeah, it's surprising, I can't find my time, and times when I said I was lying, my mind ain't my assignment, not too excited, I think I'm a little sick, where the weather's been, what I took, I think it's setting in, yes that's me, talking and testing it, clutch like Kobe, walking in, it's a message, to all the people who want war, pissing them off, talking shit, they know, I'm the dopest bitch, my hometown, I'm
Damn.
stage, I showboat up in this bitch, I won't be no bitch, blow his ass to smithereens, if he bother me, when I'm on this beat, disbelief, 10 toes, 10 feet, a giant who's growing, my grind in the showing, I'm timing, will open, can't come behind, though I don't hold doors, take that deal back, I'm worth more, damn, he's so mad about the scoreboard, damn, she's so mad that I ignore her, too bad, it's my time to spend, it's my life, let me do it how I like.
Whoa. Okay, that was a journey and a half. This is cool. I agree. I love the instrumental too. Like, the beat was just so adventurous and like really, really well done as well. All right, let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So, we are gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Never Not This. So let's talk instrumental. One of the stars of the show here for sure. TDG is such a talented producer, and instrumentals like these really kind of stand out. Really, really kind of stand out for sure. So, let's talk mix. Really solid. Thinking about it, I mean, even for like 9 months ago, you know what I mean? It's still a really, really solid mix in my opinion, especially for the instrumental. I like the sound selection. Nothing like super, super clashy to overbearing. I love how all the drums and the 808s just kind of cut through and balance out the vocals. I feel like nothing's really like fighting each other. You know what I mean? So no real gripes with the instrumental mix here at all. Definitely not. let's talk instrumental Shining Star. You know, one of the things that you definitely could say off rip is, mm, you know, obviously the drums, right? But the structure here is pretty fucking underrated, especially like the like second half of this instrumental is really really has some like variety to it, and like certain drops just kind of stand out. So I don't know. I kind of want to say structure as well. You know what I mean? Melody's up there for sure. Melody's very catchy, definitely like liable to get stuck in your head. Um, I'm gonna go drums in general, just because I really like the drums, the pattern, sound selection. Let's go drums here for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Let's talk vocals, vocal mix. Now this track is kind of special here, especially for the vocal mix, just because I'll tell you why. This really proves like how much TDG has improved, right? If you look at anything TDG has dropped within the last like 3 months compared to this one 9 months ago, TDG had this like significant jump that was just like it was so it was so extreme, and it was just such an improvement in quality, and it was just like whoa, it'll definitely take you back for sure. So this one kind of proves like TDG's progress 100%. With that said though, still a solid sounding TDG mix, has that TDG kind of flavor to it. Quality wise, nothing really to gripe about at all, to be honest with you. Like I said, drums cut through nicely. Nothing clashing, super overbearing, vocals sit nice. I wouldn't say that I would really change anything at this point, you know what I mean? So, for where this is, especially 9 months ago, vocals definitely solid. Um, Vocal Shining Star. The writing was fun. The writing was definitely fun, but I feel like the flow and cadence and delivery kind of put a lot of emphasis on everything, and TDG was very comfortable on this. So I'm gonna go flow and cadence and delivery for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme. I was gonna say continuous improvement compared to this one. Yeah, for sure, Ghost. I agree for sure. It's great. It's fucking great. Let's talk aesthetics. Overall theme. You guys know how I feel about these childhood throwback photos, man. It's always cool to use these like every once in a while, just because I feel like they make for good covers and like good memories and stuff like that. And especially if the song kind of like means something to you, stuff like this always like really really fits. And then just putting like TDG at the bottom and like small text, I feel like that was great. And then just kind of like deep frying it. Yeah, this really works for a single. You know what I mean? It really really works for a single. So I like these. I've always been a fan of these. So aesthetics definitely on point. Definitely. Overall theme, never not this. It's a very interesting one. It's a very very interesting one. I mean, you could probably dig out a couple themes for this, but this is one where you totally got to appreciate TDG kind of showing off their style and their writing, and like really like how they construct tracks, Definitely. Definitely. Just got to appreciate the TDG effort for this one for sure. So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie TDG. Thank you so much for the submission. Much love. Make sure you go follow TDG on SoundCloud, by the way. They're only 2 followers away from 1K. And of course, make sure you go follow TDG on Twitter. They're approaching 160. They're only 5 away. So make sure you go show them some love over there in the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 320 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. Get it, baby. Facts. Let's get it, Ghost. What a hot start to the show, man. Drums are the star tonight once again. I feel like that's been a big theme on the show recently. I'm not sure why, but I'll take it. I'm down. I'll absolutely take it. So, our last but certainly not least Patreon of the night is the homie Laveries. Now, we didn't have a Laveries submission last week, but this week we got blessed with some unreleased Laveries. Now, Laveries is a very, very talented hip-hop artist, has been killing it. Post-release of their Recession rap album, they came through with an unreleased I Don't Give a Fuck freestyle featuring the homie Steven. Made this last Thursday. Okay. All right, I'm down. Let's see what we got here. My duo, that's right, Ghost. All right, let's give it a quick pause. 11 hours ago, but made it last Thursday. I'm gonna drop this soon after I get some cover art. Love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. Okay. I heard a little piano there. I'm kind of interested now. See my other duo. Shout out Steven, man. All right. Let's get into it. Laveri's I Don't Give a Fuck freestyle unreleased featuring Steven. Let's go.
Alright, what you got for me, Steve-O?
Damn.
Yo. I'm in the studio with Steve and we smoking weed. Yeah. I'm about my green and I say that shit with dignity. I need more racks so I can retire my mama. Yeah. I don't do all of the drama. Yeah, I'm trying to get more commas. I need more commas
shit.
in my bank account. I'm trying to hit $1 million for the end of the year, bitch. That's the fucking mission. I don't want no fucking car loan. I'm trying to swipe my card like it's nothing. I be ballin' just like Curry getting buggers. Swish. I don't need be watching basketball. I'm spending too much time trying to get my fucking money up. This shit ain't fucking funny, yeah. We ain't even in the summer yet. I'm trying to get to more checks.
Oh shit.
Baby bad as fuck. I think I'm damn bad, but I'm really up on luck. Young and wild, nah, I never gave a fuck. Call your baby cause she tryna suck these nuts. She suck it good. I'm a savage and I stay active. I get the money and I just go. All this weed, all these pounds, all this cash, I just go. They tryna be like me, but find out it's too hard, yeah. Pressure making diamonds, repetition make a star, yeah. Hey man, come kill this shit. Yeah, we roll this shit up. Roll it just to smoke it. Smoke that shit so potent when I smoke it, I be drinking. My mama told me quit that shit, but I'm still on it every day. I face H in my apartment. Give a fuck what the lease say. Give a fuck what the lease say. Give a fuck what the bank say. I'm still cashing out every day. Yeah, I gotta get my paper. Run it up. I gotta get this paper up. I ain't never giving up. Bitch, I'm number one.
That beat is so crazy as well. Like, what the fuck? This is nuts. This is really, really nuts. And I like them as a duo as well. That's a really good pair on the track. Like a really, really good pair. Yeah, either way, shout out both Steves. Either way. And yes, engineers are key for sure. The beat goes hard, I agree. Definitely. What a track though. What a track. I'm almost kind of taken back a little bit just because it's like very impressive. Like again, I feel like Laveri's kind of leveled up and like went back to the lab and kind of like refined their style a little bit and was like, okay, like how can I level up, you know? More firm delivery, a little bit switch up the flow, a little bit more confidence, maybe a little bit more writing. Like damn. I feel like we're about to have another like Laveri's level up here soon. What the fuck? Okay. All right, let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. We're gonna talk about three things here. We're talking about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track. So, let's talk instrumental mix. I mean, officially unreleased at the time, but even for like where this is at, I do like the mix. Like I like a nice gritty, almost slightly muddy mix, but not like too muddy or anything like that. I'm not talking like red lighting or anything, but nice and muddy, has that grit to it. I like the mix personally, to be honest with you. I feel like they both sounded solid on it. Drums cut through nicely. Vocals sat nice. I mean, melody complemented everything. Nothing I could really change about this mix, even though it is unreleased. I mean, I'm sure it'll, you know, not be the final or anything like that, or it might be. But either way, I do like where it's at so far. So, instrumental mix solid. Instrumental shining star. Let's talk about it. I mean, it's got to be the drums now. Like, it's got to be the drums. For sure. I mean, I do like the melody a lot. I feel like the melody is almost like very somber, and you like really gotta like take it serious. I feel like almost the melody too has like somewhat of like a OG trap vibe as well, which is like really sick. But let's go drums on this. I love the sound selection patterns. Even the mix on the drums was great. So yeah, definitely drums for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. Again, I like both of their vocals on this, to be honest with you. Again, considering it is unreleased, you know, things could change prior to this reaction, but still, I think for where it's at and it being unreleased right now, I feel like they do sound pretty solid, you know? And like I said, I like this two as a duo on a track, I feel like they do complement each other's voices a lot. And then they both have like significantly different styles, but they're very similar at the same time. So that's kind of why they work. You know, it's like yin and yang kind of thing. But yeah, no grabs with the vocal mix at all, especially with quality. Nothing really clashy to overbearing. Drums definitely cut through nicely. I wouldn't say anything like levels wise either kind of bothered me at all. But again, unreleased, so pending changes, you know. But let's see. So vocal mix solid for both of them. Vocal shining star. I really, really like the flow and cadence and delivery. I feel like Laverius has really found like a new stride here again. You know, because it was only just like the start of the year, and like during like recession rap and recession, just like the whole recession rollout with the deluxe. It's almost like they leveled up like after that again. So it's just like, man, the flow and cadence and delivery was really solid. And then the writing too is almost like more a little bit more like fancier somehow. You know, it's a little bit more glitter on it, and I was like, shit, okay. You know, so you could tell that Laverius is really like putting in the work in the studio and really trying to upgrade all angles of their work. You know, so for this one, flow and cadence and delivery for sure. But I do like the writing a lot though. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, flow, cadence, delivery. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics obviously completely unreleased, so pending cover art, like Laverius said in the description. But of course, we always like a good black square. Always aesthetically pleasing. But overall theme, I mean, pretty much in the title, I don't give a fuck freestyle. I feel like they both really talked their shit on this, but also were able to show off their skill sets, right? Their flows and their cadences, and just kind of like let loose a little bit, you know? Because obviously, not every song needs to have like a well thought out theme, and you don't have to even write everything out. You know, sometimes you just sit there and punch in and punch out. Some artists always record like that. But yeah, this is one where I wouldn't dig too deep for a theme and just really enjoy what these two artists are bringing to the table when it comes to this one, for sure. Well done, my friends. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Laverius. Make sure you go follow their Laverius Leaks SoundCloud over here. There's only 2 followers on it, so make sure you go check that out and go show that some love. And of course, make sure you follow Laverius on Twitter as well. They're only 6 followers away from 140. So go show them some love over there on the Bird app, my friends. Of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 320 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and all the good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love. Let's get it, baby. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays, my friends. Much love. Even if you're just dropping likes, dropping comments, all that good stuff, we appreciate you. Even if you're just clicking on the video and clicking off, man, it means the world to us. Always helps. So, all right. Let's see here. That does it, actually, for all of our Music Mondays Patreons for the night. So, huge shout out to the homie Jordan, huge shout out to the homie TDG, and huge shout out to the homie Laverius, and huge shout out to the rest of our Patreons, Kruger, King Mark, Ryuki. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much for supporting the Music Mondays Patreon. All right, so we're gonna go from top to bottom, straight up. You guys know the drill, so let's go here. First up in the night, and for the rest of the community submissions, are the homie Lucha Libro. Now, Lucha Libro has been trying to put out a ton of work, and they've been kind of, varying in styles, but a very solid alternative experimental kind of variety artist here. Lucha Libro came through with a brand new track, actually. So I'm down. Let's pop this open new tab. Let's see what we got here from the homie Lucha Libro. They've been having an interesting journey recently. A lot of their releases have just been really nutty. All right, let's see here. So this is track 1 of their new project, and I think we did track 3. Yeah, okay, we already did track 3, the Fanta track, and now we're doing the Fragment track. All right. I'm down. Brand new Lucha Libro. Let's get into it.
Pasate por la clínica, portado número 1 en la psicoanalítica. Esa calle con su estuvieras en casa, vas a picar ahí arriba de lo que te pasa. Tanto rencor que sientes por tu madre. Y esos pensamientos un poco raros para tenerlos de tu padre. Blackman soy. Blackman soy. Blackman soy. Yo soy. Ya se te acaba la hora. Se te acaba la hora. No, en serio, se te acaba la hora. Sale aquí, hijo de puta. Blackman soy. Blackman soy. Blackman soy, ese soy yo. Blackman soy. Blackman soy. Blackman soy. Yo soy. Blackman soy. Blackman soy. Yo soy. Blackman soy. Llevas hablando una hora, se me acaba el pánico. Me importa una mierda. Pero Blackman soy. Blackman soy. Blackman soy. Ese soy yo.
Wow.
Bueno, si tienes dinero. A no ser que quieres pagar otra hora, Pero no sirve para nada. Ya está jodido, hombre. Blackman soy. Blackman soy. Yo soy. Y no vuelvas, cabrón.
Holy shit. Quite the amount of energy on this one. Quite the fucking amount of energy. Kind of has that, like, almost like early punk, you know, like gritty ass, like unmixed kind of sound, you know? And this is what I like about Lucha Libre is you really never know what you're gonna get. So it's almost like a surprise every time, you know? Because we've gotten acoustic stuff, we've gotten more like almost electronic kind of deals, we've gotten collabs, we've gotten almost hip hop stuff, and now we've got something like this where it's like so heavy and so like super gritty and a little bit more niche too, right? It definitely is a little bit more niche for sure. But there are people who do enjoy this kind of sound, you know. I'm not gonna say they're not, because there definitely is, especially this kind of like gritty, loud in your face kind of feel. You know what I mean? So, wow. All right, let's talk about it. Let's get into it. We're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track. So, let's talk instrumental. Again, instrumental, very gritty, very rough, very kind of like in your face. But again, it's very intentional. You know, we've done enough, you know, reacting to Lucha Libre to understand that certain tracks and certain styles are intentionally left like this, you know, and if that's your flavor, that's solid, you know, but it's still very interesting nonetheless. But instrumental makes solid for like what it's trying to do. Definitely like the levels were probably a bit loud on this, like in the file for sure, but Lucha Libre just said fuck it, you know what I mean? So instrumental makes solid for what it is and where it's at. Definitely. I mean, even the vocals are kind of like doing its thing, you know, so you can't really complain too much. All right. So instrumental makes solid. Instrumental shining star. Definitely the melodies. I feel like the melodies kept up the pace. Drums were solid. I like the drum selection, and the drums definitely kept up the pace too, but the melodies were so fast paced and like in your face and almost mean, you know what I mean? And just like party like. So I'm gonna go with the melodies here on this one. Those guitars were crazy, for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. Again, for what this is, solid, you know, gritty, raspy, kind of like almost like a punk style of vocal here, and it really has this like just dirty kind of sound, you know. It has like a real like grit to it. And yeah, not too much to gripe about either about this, considering like this is what Lucha Libre was really going for, you know. So not too many complaints here. Again, maybe the levels were a bit too high on this one, but I wouldn't like really tweak out about it. It definitely came out like in the sound that you wanted for sure. So vocal mix definitely solid for where it's at. Vocal shining star on the other hand. I mean, even the flow and cadence and delivery though was like very honest and like very emotional, you know. You could tell it was very authentic, and Lucha Libre like loves what they do. So I'm gonna go with the flow, cadence, and delivery on this one, just because you can tell that Lucha really, really enjoys their stuff. It's very enthusiastic, if you will, high energy. Definitely high energy. So instrumental solid, vocal solid. Let's talk about the overall theme. So we spoke a little bit about this cover last week or the week before, but this one actually is one of my favorites, just because it's like outside like the camper. You have like Lucha Libre just kind of chilling, and then like the slight edits on it, right? Like even like the vague track list in the window. I didn't even notice that the last time, which that's actually a really fucking sick addition. And then the Lucha Libre logo in the top left, and then almost like the mannequin like humanoid kind of figure to his right. Um, yeah, this one definitely screams project to me for sure, and it definitely goes in line with the rest of their, almost yellow style of covers, right? So, aesthetics definitely on point to me for sure. Overall theme, I'm sure this one has like a little bit more of a deeper theme to Lucha Libre than it would like the average listener, or maybe the average listener's tapped into the Lucha Libre lore when it comes down to something like this. But it's definitely one that I would enjoy for the sound, and especially if you're into this style of more like heavier um, kind of sounds, So, well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Lucha Libre. Thank you so much for the submissions, my friends. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow Lucha Libre on Spotify. And of course, make sure you go follow Lucha Libre on Twitter. They are only 3 followers away from 140. So make sure you go show them some love in the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 320 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love. Let's get it. Well done, my friends. Well done. All right. Also, a note of beats. Beat-wise, like 10 beats off being finished. I'm gonna make another 10 more for the deluxe. Right? Yeah. So still some work to be cut out there. Drums stand out more for me on the Laverius track. Yeah, definitely. I really like the drums on that one. That's for sure. All right. Let's see what we got here. We left off the homie Lucha Libre. Up next is the homie Sin. We actually haven't heard from Sin in a couple of weeks, man. It's been a couple of weeks. And Sin, Survival and Negativity, is a very, very talented hip-hop artist. And we've been going through their latest releases. We've been going through their earlier discography. We've been going through a lot from Sin. So this week they came through with a little collab. Music's Gone featuring Night Mode. I'm putting up one of my favorite tracks from my bro Insomniac and his latest project, Husky Prod Wizardship. Oh, so we're not even getting some Sin this week, but Sin's actually nice enough to promote the homies. We love that. So we're always down. Insomniac's very familiar with the Music Mondays podcast. So we have Insomniac, The Music's Gone featuring Night Mode, Prod the homie Wizard. All right, I'm down. There's quite the stack on this project here. Let's see what we got. All right, let's give it a little pause here. 3 months ago, so still pretty new. Then commented, incredible song. Lots of love for the Sauce Gang as well. Excellent. I like that. All right, I'm down. Let's get into it. Insomniac and The Music's Gone featuring Night Mode. Let's go.
You know, I took a walk around the old school. Couldn't believe what happened. It was like
Bass is crazy.
everything had been taken away. And all that I was left with were memories. First day of spring, dawn on the fresh grass. Stepping out is the kid with the fresh brass. Trombone, tuba to saxophone. Went from alto, tenor down to baritone. Took a little bit to stretch out, find his lane. When he started out, he felt like kinda lame. Now he can't believe how far he came. On the 50-yard line at the game. Feels like he's in the right place. Like it's all fate. Met his future wife out at Ball State. Now he's working with the band at Ball State. Music's putting food on his plate. Took a break just to slow down. went back to his hometown. By the band room there was no sound. He asked around, it's closed down. Before you go, before you walk away, the music's gone. We're left with yesterday.
Wow.
First day of school, dew on the blades of grass. Stayed up practicing, now he's late to class. It's the new kid on the drum squad. Started out on snare, got his eye on the quad. So excited, he just couldn't mask it. Waited for this since he rebuilt his dad's kit. Got the beat in his soul, gotta blast it. Running like the world's fastest. No breakfast, belly rumbling. Rushed through the door, he just stumbled in. Then his heart sank, he had a bloody fright. There was nobody in sight. Try to stay calm like. What's he gonna say to his mom like? In the cafeteria crying. In his dreams he was on that 50-yard line. Before you go. And that's why. Before you walk away, I'd like to take this time. The music's gone. To thank everyone who played a part of my life. We're left with yesterday in this journey. Hug your music teachers.
Real talk. I love the fade out there as well, but a very like calming, relaxing kind of track, you know. Insomniac's best written song. Also, I swear, it reminds me of Devin the Dude so much with the hooks. Yep, I see what you mean. Yeah. One thing I would say is Wizard would have harder than kicks. Yeah, right, yeah. Sometimes feel that. I expect nothing else from Wizard. Yeah, Wizard's fucking very talented, very very talented. Let's see here. Cool, unique story though. Love to see that. Yeah, totally. That song was very calming. Like it had a very heavy, like kind of wide theatrical instrumental, but it was very calming. To be honest with you, like I was just paying attention to what was being said. So I like that vibe. Like a little bit of switch of pace there. Let's break it down. Let's talk about it. So we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of The Music's Gone. So instrumental. Proud by the Homie Wizard. I mean, mix is absolutely fucking outstanding, to be honest with you. I feel like everybody sounds solid on the instrumental, but as far as the instrumental goes itself, though, wow. I mean, definitely no gripes. Levels are great. Quality solid. Sound selection solid. I love the bass. Like I said, everybody's vocals sound really good on it, so no real gripes with this, to be honest with you. And the structure's fantastic. But instrumental mix definitely much on point. Definitely. Absolutely. Instrumental Shining Star, on the other hand. This one's gonna be hard because I do like the melodies. I like the bass. The drums are out there. The structure's up there. You could argue a lot about this instrumental alone, but I think what I'm gonna go with is the structure. I love how it's structured out. I love where the hook comes in. I love where the bass line comes in. I love the drums in general. I'm a sucker for a good structure, so let's go with structure on this. I enjoyed it a lot. But you could argue any one of those, really. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. Again, everybody sounds really, really sharp on this. Nothing I would ultimately change at all. Nothing like super, super clashy to overbearing. Nobody's like kind of too loud. Levels are good. Quality solid. Everybody has like really solid like natural voices anyway, and like for the type of style that they're going for, this slow R&B like boom bap kind of flavor, somewhat. Nothing that I would like ultimately change on this, especially in terms of like a vocal mix. So vocal mix solid, vocal shining star. Man, I like the hook a lot. Writing in general solid. Flow and cadence is up there. I kind of do want to say hook. I'm not gonna lie. The hook is definitely pretty catchy, and it'll kind of get stuck in your head. You know what I mean? Let's go with the hook here. Let's definitely go with the hook here. So, instrumental solid, definitely structure. Vocal solid, definitely the hook. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. For their full project titled Husky. I like the credits at the bottom for the prods too. The bottom right logos. And then just kind of like this cat with a big husky text over it. I thought that was really solid, you know. Simple but very effective cover for any type of project. You know what I mean? Simple, straight to the point, and I like the colors. So, aesthetics on point, especially for a project. Overall theme, the music's gone. A very interesting one. I mean, almost story-like, but it really takes you even deeper than that. Like, it's one of those stories that you could kind of like bend and twist to kind of relate to you in any aspect, you know, because it still is a story, but it's just like if you relate to certain parts of this song, it almost becomes your story. You know, it kind of reminds me of like a choose your own adventure book or one of those books that you like pick the ending and whatnot. It's one of those songs for me where you almost like put yourself into this track, you know, because once I started playing this, I was like, holy shit, and you start listening, you know, and you start imagining things, and it's a very vivid visual kind of track, you know. So well done, my friends. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Insomniac and Sin and the homies over there. Make sure you go follow Insomniac on SoundCloud. They're only 8 followers away from 550. And of course, make sure you go follow Sin on Twitter as well. They're only 3 followers away from 490. Make sure you go show them some love over there in the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 320 subscribers. We upload 2 per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists and the channel some love. Let's get it, baby. All right, my friends. All right. So, we left off with the homie Sin and Insomniac. Up next is actually a first-time submitting artist by the name of Soapy Lou. And they submitted a first-time track, man. I'm down. Or actually a first-time album. So we'll definitely roll out with the intro of this for sure. Roxby Lou 1.5 out now. AOL Collective, Soap and Associates, 18 Beats and Features booking. Okay, solid bio. Love that. Love that. But all right, first time submitting artist, so we don't know what to expect. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. So they submitted a collab album here. It is 13 tracks, and the first track on it is actually 354, so it's not an intro. It's definitely kicking off the project. Their first track is Leapfrog. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, so this is a what? A 13-track project. All right, let's go in super blind. I'm down. First time submitting artist, Soapy Lou Leapfrog. Let's go.
Roxby plus Soapy Lou. What more could you ask for? 2 goats combined, fusion dance style, making a mixtape, album, EP, whatever the fuck you call it. How could you not be entertained? Roxby Lou, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm starting to call it. Fuck it. Alright? They will fucking kill you. I swear to God. Listen to it and appreciate it, or you will not be saved, okay? You will be left out. You will be forgotten, okay? Get the fuck on. Yo, you think this is a fucking joke? No. Roxby Lou will save the summer. Roxby Lou will save the summer. Roxby Lou will save the fucking summer, bro. Please.
And they really think I'm on one. Roxby Lou in this bitch, fuck a Groupon. Everybody sleep piled on a futon. Big family like the Whites, feeling like Braun. Switching music to the face, feeling like Sean. Ain't responding to the press like you catch on.
Oh, hell.
Bumping Brent like I'm Hassan. All these hoes steady hating, bitch, carry on. I ain't answering my damn phone, bitch, carry on. I ain't answering them texts, bitch, get a He my son like a dog, he a chihuahua. She a hoe
What
like
the
a bitch,
fuck?
a fucking dog. Lost the fight, coming back straight gulag. She a hoe from man to man playing leapfrog. She a hoe from man to man playing leapfrog. She a hoe from man to man playing leapfrog. She a hoe from man to man playing leapfrog.
Oh
Really
my.
think I'm on one. So be Lou in this bitch, I'm really awesome. Saying people always hating, really be scum. I know you listen to my music, stop acting dumb. You know the music really hitting, hearing bass drums. Arms around too many hoes like I got gum. Planting seed for that hoe, I got a green thumb. And her face be red, she a cherry, huh? I only wear my own merch, this ain't no Burberry. Begging me for Louis bags, ain't no missionary. Asking me for some dough, I don't even carry. Really gotta let these hoes know that baby scary. In disguise, suited up, really call me Perry. She tell me she wanna meet, but she in Berry. New bitch, real sweet, like a strawberry. Last hoe, ain't love me, but that I was worried. Last hoe
Oh
was man to man,
shit.
playing leapfrog. Last hoe was man to man, playing leapfrog. Past hoe was can to can, drinking decog. Ass hoes were band to band, couldn't last long. She a hoe, man to man, playing leapfrog. She a hoe, man to man, playing leapfrog. She a hoe, man to man, playing leapfrog. She a hoe, man to man, playing leapfrog.
Wow.
Man to man, playing leapfrog. 50 Cent, many men, she take back shots. Love her for a day or two, she don't last long. Smoky eye like the Rocket Soapy's cat, huh? This ain't just rap, huh? I'm on attack, huh? Ain't got no racks, ho. No, I don't trust funds. I'll keep it on the low. I know she move for show. I know she got bad bugs. Smoke them roaches, ho. Yeah, she move pretend. Shit ain't look decent. You know I left her like reason, that's recent. Strange how these bitches keep change like the seasons. But she just be all on her bullshit and tweaking. Something smell fishy, you know that she reeking. She's so OD and I'm not like the weekend. Snapchat so childish, I know that she's streaking. The street seen those cheeks with a new tape like Meek in it. What's seeing it?
Last hoe was man to man, playing leapfrog. Last hoe was man to man, playing leapfrog. Past hoe was can to can, drinking decog. Ass hoes were
Wow.
man to man, couldn't last long. She a hoe, man to man, playing leapfrog. She a hoe, man to man, playing leapfrog. She a hoe, man to man, playing leapfrog. She a hoe, man to man, playing leapfrog.
That was insane. That was one of the most impressive first time submissions we've gotten in probably a couple months. You know, like usually first time submissions are super solid, but this was one where it was like, this is gonna be very memorable for sure, for sure, very memorable. Well done, fucking well done. Holy shit. All right, much to discuss here, much to talk about. Let's talk about it though. Let's get into it. So we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're talking about vocals. And we're talking about the overall theme of Leapfrog. So, instrumental, fantastic. I love the fast pace, like almost like dance style, but it's very like trap oriented, and it has just like this old school kind of feel, but it's very modern at the same time, mixing with like a lot of modern sounds and just wow, I love the choice off rip. But the mix is great. I love the clap. The clap sticks out a lot to me just because it's hits that nice sweet spot. But yeah, nothing I would like really change about this. Melody was solid, kind of had like the little reverse effect going on. Drums were solid, definitely nothing I would switch out about those. Levels were solid, quality was solid. Nothing I would really like switch up about this instrumental mix at all, to be honest with you. So yeah, instrumental mix definitely solid. Instrumental Shining Star. I almost want to say structure, but the drums in general were really solid. It's between drums and structure. I do like the structure though. Yeah, let's go structure, man. Structure felt like very consistent and just told a story. So let's go with structure here for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely structure. Yeah, hype ass switch. I agree. Yep, double punch was sick. Yep, this goes off. 50 Cent bar is crazy. Leapfrog is crazy. Structure made it sound so much better. Yeah, I agree. You see the vision go. So you know exactly what I'm talking about, 100%. But I agree. I'm glad you guys liked it too because that was very impressive. Kind of catches you off guard, especially with like a first time spinning artist. But like I said, instrumental solid. Definitely the structure. Vocals. Let's talk vocals. So vocals were very interesting because they were very crispy and solid. Nothing that I would like really gripe about quality wise, but there's definitely something there that could be done with like more effects or engineering, something that could like take a song like this to like the super next level, you know what I mean? But for where it is at, I do enjoy the vocals a lot. Nothing wrong levels wise, nothing wrong quality wise, nothing super clashy, too overbearing, or nothing I would really like switch out about this. Drums cut through nicely, vocals sat nice, nothing to really gripe about, to be honest with you. So vocal mix solid, vocal shining star. It's got to be the writing. I mean, the writing lyrics, like the flow and cadence and delivery made this even more fun too. But the writing was just so outlandish and so just didn't give a fuck. It was very like diss track mixed with like kind of smarter writing. You know what I mean? So very interesting. But writing and lyrics for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the structure. Vocal solid, definitely the writing and lyrics. Let's talk theme. Where are the aesthetics here? So let's see. A very simple but effective kind of cover, right? Like you're taking like a duo album and you take two figures and everybody's just kind of, shadowed out, but you have this like almost like watercolor entrance in the background. It's a very unique kind of cover. You don't see covers like this too often, especially one that leaves it like to the imagination, right? And of course this would be Soap and Rocks, right? So it kind of makes sense how this panned out, but yeah, aesthetics definitely on point, especially for an album, because like sometimes these simple album covers can really like hit for people, and for me, I definitely think it gets the job done for sure, especially for like any type of project, right? So definitely project worthy for sure. Overall theme, Leapfrog. Well, you pretty much had it in the hook. You know what I mean? You could kind of like understand like where they were coming from when it came to that term. But this was definitely like a good diss track mixed with like some really solid writing, and it was really these two kind of showing off what they could do. And I actually thought this was a really great track to put first in an album, because if I was a listener, this would be the song to make me continue to listen to the album. You'd be like, oh shit, like what's next? So you're definitely gonna listen to the rest if you hear something like this first on an album. So I felt like that was a strong move too. So well done, my friends. Well done. Huge shout out to homie Soapy and Roxby. Make sure you guys go follow them on Spotify. And of course, make sure you go follow Soapy on Twitter. They are only 3 followers away from 460, so make sure you go show them some love over there on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 320 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love. Let's get it. All right. Structure, yeah, I agree. Structure can honestly make a killer beat. Yep. Exactly. Structure is super important. Absolutely. Depending on how it looks, it can be a good cover. Right. Totally. Very, very like 50-50 taste there for sure. Can go either way. I agree. 100%. So, let's see here. We left off with the homie Soapy. Up next is a very, very hardworking artist, the homie Mosto Kimon, a very talented alternative multi-genre hip-hop artist, has came through with a brand new visualizer, I Heart Nats. Oh, shit. So, again, Kimon's been fucking killing it recently. They've been on a tear with the YouTube uploads. They've been on a tear with the singles. They've been on a tear with just so much for their solo drops in 2025. This is one of those artists for me that's just like insane, like absolutely fucking insane. So let's see what Kimon has for us this week, my friends. Let's pop it open a new tab. Let's see what we got. Give it a quick pause. You gotta go full volume. You definitely gotta go 720. Let's see here. So hey, you so fi. Shout out the comments, man. Shout out the comments. 3 months ago, so this one's a bit older. We definitely haven't reacted to this one. Not a music video. I love that note from Kimon. I love that note. So not a music video. That'd be like sick on a shirt or something, you know what I mean? But let's get into it, man. 3 months ago, so I'm very interested to see what Kimon, had going on like 3 months ago, because I think we got their first submission maybe like three or 4 months ago. You know what I mean? Or maybe a little bit before that. But either way, I'm down. Let's get into it. Most Dope Kimon, I Heart Nats, Visualizer. Let's go.
Shit, I'm feeding that hoe like Thanksgiving. Okay. Shit, I love this. Shit, let me, yeah, I love this. Shit, okay. Shit, I love this. Shit, let me, yeah, I love this. Shit, thick as fuck, she got a fatty, fatty. I grab on the fatty. She got it, win. Shoot, she got it, win. Shoot. I love next. Let me, yeah, I love next. Okay.
Wow. That was just a fun, like, fast-paced song, and like, again, the visualizer really helps this one a lot, you know? This is one of those ones, again, where you find on the recommended, and you're like, holy shit, you know? You're like, oh my god, what did I just find, you know? And 3 months ago, right? 3 months ago, that would kind of equal March, so, wherever Kimon is, obviously, in this visual, was a bit colder in the background, and then if I'm not wrong, I'm pretty sure that's snow on the ground out there as well, so it was definitely, like, a little bit more of, like a spring winterish video, which I think was really sick. Because we didn't get too many of those. I think we saw like 1 or 2 of them, but a lot of the ones that we do have are from summertime, you know? So, wow. All right. Let's break this one down. So, we're going to talk about 3 things here. We're going to talk about the instrumental, we're going to talk about vocals, and we're going to talk about the official visualizer for I Heart Nats. So, let's talk instrumental. I love this choice because this one's very heavy on the drums for the instrumental. But again, a very Kimon style of instrumental. Like something you'd hear and instantly hear Kimon kind of like kill. You know, they tend to stick to their guns when it comes to what they like in instrumentals. And this fits that box perfectly for them. So not a shocker. But something I always want to point out, right? So instrumental mix though. No real gripes, to be honest with you. I mean, particularly like the 808, I feel like that stands out a lot to me, which I thoroughly enjoyed for sure. But I do like the drum selection, like all around. Melody was solid. Nothing that I would like ultimately change when it comes to the mix though. Nothing super clashy, too overbearing. Levels were solid. Quality was good. Nothing that I could really like ultimately complain about. You know what I mean? Definitely no gripes here. No way. Instrumental Shining Star, on the other hand, definitely the drums. I love the drums. Down to the sound selection, the patterns, especially the 808. Drums really came through for me here. So I do enjoy the drums. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. A very standard and solid Kimon vocal mix. I really feel like, you know, Kimon has a very consistent vocal mix regardless of like what style they're doing. Their mix always stays the same when it comes to their sound and how they sound and the quality, you know. And again, nothing too loud, levels are solid, nothing super clashy, too overbearing, nothing I would like really change about vocals either, especially like when Kimon like pushes that more melodic element in their voice. I feel like they do really well with it, you know what I mean? They do really well with it. So no gripes with the vocal mix at all. Vocal Shining Star here, writing and lyrics are up there, but I feel like the hook is liable to get like stuck in your head, especially if like you listen to this one enough. It's definitely one you're gonna be like singing around the house, you know, and you're like just jamming, you know. So I feel like the hook kind of has to take the cake here. I'm gonna go with the hook for sure. The instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the hook. Let's talk about the visualizer. So obviously not a music video, but almost like a longer GIF. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of the same clips are reused, but it came out really sick. Like one of these videos, like would be sick for like a Tumblr exclusive, or like Kimon did here for a YouTube exclusive. You know what I mean? I feel like something like this is really solid because you don't need to go like super crazy with the editing or anything like that, but you still get like a good in-person visual. And then like maybe throw like 1 or 2 filters on it. You know, maybe you could like edit the transitions a little bit, but this one right here goes really well with a song like this, like really fucking well. And again, this is what Kimon does best, is really kind of really come up with concepts and really like take time, but also like just kind of do what they want when it comes to their music videos and visuals, you know. But they kind of like think about it for a second, or even if they're like, nah, this doesn't deserve a music video, but they still come up with something, you know. Like even if you just use like all the extra like B-roll footage, and we've spoke about this before, Even if you just use all the extra footage, I feel like that's also a great idea, you know, because you do with like a visualizer like this where it's super simple, but it's something to enjoy while, you know, you're listening to the track. But also, you know, if this is the first thing you stumble across, you're going to be immediately curious. You know what I mean? You're going to be totally curious about Kimon. That's why I think, you know, one of those is really solid, really solid. I mean, you don't have to make a million of them, but whenever you have one of these that's like kind of like sitting on the back burner, or you know, maybe you have some extra footage, you can do really sick shit with it. And you know, even a lot of this stuff looks awesome on social media as well. It's great for promo, you know. So Kimon's really smart with it. So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Most Up Kimon. Make sure you go sub to their YouTube channel, and make sure you go sub to Lovely Boy Flex. They're only 10 subs away from 30, so make sure you go show them some love over there on the tube. And of course, make sure you go follow Kimon on Twitter. They are only 4 followers away from 20, so make sure you go show them some love over there on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be links in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 320 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. All right, my friends, we are cruising through our submissions, so let's go take a quick commercial break. I'm going to need all you guys to get up, go get a drink, go get a snack, maybe take a smoke break, maybe go walk the dog. I don't know, but regardless, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we return, Music Mondays Podcast, episode 231, will continue, so do not go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live with the Music Mondays podcast, episode 231. I hope you're well, I hope you're chilling, I hope you had a good, quick commercial break, but we're going to get right back into the nitty gritty. Okay, so we left off the homie Mosto Kimon, fantastic visualizer. Up next, we have the homie Ghost. Now, Ghost, a very, very talented multi-genre producer, has came through with another unreleased instrumental. And they said in the caption, this one is a different vibe to what anyone has ever heard from me. And Ghost actually came in the stream earlier this week and said the same thing. Ghost really believes that this is some real different shit. And I believe them, because Ghost has really came through with some different shit multiple times. So hold on, let me pop this open in Dropbox and we'll get started, my friends. Okay. Alright. So let's get that out the way. Alright, we're in Dropbox, we're good to go. Let's see here. So this is an unreleased instrumental for the Laveries project. So let's get into it. I'm down. Unreleased, Ghost, let's go. Whoa. Holy shit. Oh my god. Oh my. Oh, the stutter. Whoa, holy shit. Holy shit. I agree, Anmuka, I agree. I say I'm going crazy with this album. The straight space. Yeah, no, it's totally like space electronic, dance like, almost like techno pushing boundaries, you know? I was gonna make it shorter. Everything is good at this point for it. I don't want to cut any part out. I agree. No, I like the length. I like the length, yeah. Yeah. Well, this be arranged to be around 150. Yeah, 230 is not that much of a jump. I like it. Extra 40 seconds is not shit. No. I feel like this was solid. I feel like this is really solid. But yeah, I mean, we got our answer, my friends. Ghost was definitely right. This is definitely unlike anything we've heard from them before. Definitely nothing even similar to this, you know? So, wow. Impressive. And, like, really enjoyable, too. Like, simple, straight to the point, and just, like, fun, you know? It's very high energy, for sure. All right, so let's talk about it. Let's break it down. So we're going to talk about two things, because obviously no vocals yet. We're going to talk about the instrumental, and we're going to talk about the overall theme of the track. So let's talk instrumental. Mix is fantastic, especially for these types of styles and sounds. And when you're using synths and you're kind of using fast-paced drums and the sound selection that this kind of style requires, a mix can be sometimes annoying to do. But Ghost came through on this. I mean, you can't really be shocked at all. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. I feel like all the melodies and all the drums worked really well together. I feel like the structure really stood out as well. But for something like this, definitely no gripes at all. I feel like it was leveled out perfectly. Everything's kind of complementing each other. And like I said, even the sound selection is like to a T. So definitely no gripes with this mix whatsoever. Definitely not. So instrumental mix solid. Instrumental shining star. Man, this one's really hard to pick because the drums are super, super solid. The melodies are great. The structure, though, I kind of want to, I don't know. I was going to say structure, but you could make a solid argument for the drums. And the melodies, I mean, are just bringing that dance club techno kind of vibe anyway, So, damn, Let's go structure on this one. Just because it's a straight journey. It's a straight fucking journey. And not one sound is like overstaying its welcome. I'm going to go structure for this one. But drums and the melodies are a super close second for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely a structure. Kind of killed the loop exactly what I was looking for. Yeah, big shout out to Iconic because that was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. So yeah, definitely a structure. Let's talk theme. Obviously unreleased for a Laverius collaboration, but overall theme, like we said at the start, definitely has that space techno kind of like fast-paced dance, but like not really trying to push too much. It's a really good mix of that. But again, the big thing is it's fast-paced and it's hitting that sweet spot of like, almost combining like 3 or 4 different sounds. So Ghost definitely was not lying, 100%. Absolutely was not lying. This is definitely the first time that we've heard anything like this from Ghost. So well done, my friend. Well done. The versatility continues to expand, eh? Huge shout out to Ghost, man. Huge shout out to Ghost. Thank you so much for the submission. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow Ghost on Twitter, by the way. Ghost is only 8 followers away from 540. So make sure you go show him some love over there in the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 320 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and all the good jazz over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. Thanks, you're very welcome, my friend. Thank you for your submission. Let's go. Always versatile for life, right? No, exactly, for sure. The bag gets deeper, my friend. The bag gets deeper, eh? Let's go. Okay, so we left off with the homie Ghost. Up next is the homie Sketchy Face. Now, Sketchy Face is an artist who actually took a break over, I almost want to say the last year or so. I think the last time we heard from Sketchy Face on the show was, 2024. We've actually hosted a Music Mondays exclusive for them on our SoundCloud, so definitely go check that out. But Sketchy Face is a very talented alternative, kind of darker trap, kind of darker hip-hop style artist. And they came through with a track titled Plotting on Another Lick. Let's see what we got here, man. It's been a while since we heard from Sketchy. Plotting on Another Lick. Let's see. 2025, June 16th. So quite literally less than a week old, my friends. Less than a week old. I'm down. I'm absolutely down. Looks like there is this actually might be their first drop for 2025, which would be sick. So, all right, I'm down. Let's get into it. Sketchy Face, Plotting on Another Lick. Let's go.
soda in the air. Ain't fucking with the trick. Back to where I don't care. Putting on another lick. Smell that soda in the air. Ain't fucking with the trick. Back to where I don't care. Putting on another lick. Smell that soda in the air. Ain't fucking with the trick. Back to where I don't care. Putting on another lick.
Holy shit. Wow. The hook is very catchy. Wow. High energy right there, man. Very, very high energy, but that's usually the sketchy face usual. So well done. Well done. All right. All right. Much to say about this one since this is Sketchy Face's first track in quite some time. Especially the first track here on the show in quite some time as well. But let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So, we're going to talk about three things here. We're going to talk about the instrumental, we're going to talk about vocals, and we're going to talk about the overall theme of this track. So, let's see. Let's talk instrumental, man. A very Sketchy Face type instrumental for sure. Definitely has that, much like Onwuka said in the chat, like a dark wave kind of like a dark wave, dark trap, almost trap metal kind of vibe. Even like rage trap, that whole direction, right? But I wouldn't nail it down to one theme at all. It's definitely a mixture of all those sounds for sure. But the mix is solid. Nothing like super clashy, too overbearing. You know, sometimes these types of tracks and the styles, again, meant to be a little bit more gritty and muddy. You know, so I definitely like this one a lot in terms of the mix because it's right where it's supposed to be for this style. And Sketchy sounds great on it. So nothing, again, that I would ultimately change as far as, you know, the instrumental mix. Nothing super clashy, too overbearing. Sound selection was good. Drums cut through nicely. Sketchy sounds good on it. So nothing that I could like really gripe about, you know. So instrumental mix solid, instrumental shining star. Gotta be the drums. I do love the structure though. I feel like the way that this was structured out was really solid, especially like for the hook and like how Sketchy did the hook. I feel like the structure for the instrumental is really nice. But the drums are just almost like a feature on this, you know, especially the 808 and just the way it hits is just on point. It's just on point, you know. Sometimes the drums are just like such a big star for that. So for this one, I'm going to go drums, but you could argue melody or structure, definitely. So, instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. It's definitely like a big improvement since the last time we've heard from Sketchy for sure. Definitely, you know, has a higher quality, levels are more solid, everything's more like, it has a different kind of delivery. Like everything really kind of like matches up together for this for sure. So you could definitely tell in the vocal mix that Sketchy came back like really refined and really refreshed, you know. So I like the vocal mix. Again, nothing super clashy to overbearing. Nothing I would like really ultimately change on this one. Like I said, I feel like the drums cut through nicely. Vocals sit nice on the instrumental. Nothing like too much to gripe with at all, to be honest with you. So vocal mix definitely solid and right where it needs to be for this kind of style. Vocal shining star, gotta be the hook. I do like the writing, and the flow and cadence and delivery was really up there. I feel like you could argue flow and cadence and delivery a lot on this, to be honest with you, but I feel like the hook is going to be something that gets stuck with people on this one, you know, just because Sketchy performed it so well. So I'm going to go hook for this one. Definitely. Let's go hook. 100%. The instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the hook. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. Plot on another lick. What's the cover here? So we got a little bit of like a dark, almost like aesthetic kind of cover, right? Like has like one of those like selfie kind of vibes, but also like it's like drowned in filters and it's so drenched, but it looks so hard and mysterious. It looks very like ethereal almost, you know, kind of like horror like, but not really. It's just very, very dark. And this is what I like to see when it comes down to those like IRL pictures or even like a selfie or something like that. You can always make a really solid cover when it comes down to those like extra pictures that you're not going to use for anything. This is one of those cases for sure. Especially for a single, I like it. Definitely like keeps the darker kind of tone to it, you know? So aesthetics definitely on point. Overall theme, plotting on another lick. I mean, other than like the title being the obvious theme, you know, plotting on another lick doesn't always mean like another person. You know, it could be another opportunity in life, could be another, you know, lick and opportunity and kind of score, you know, can stand for multiple things, right? So you could really take this a few ways, but it's definitely one where I just appreciate Sketchy's level up and really enjoy the hook and hear what Sketchy has to offer on this one for sure. So well done, my friends. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Sketchy Face. Thank you so much for the submission. Much love. Make sure you go follow Sketchy Face on Spotify, and of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter. They are only one follower away from 220 or 11 away from 230. So make sure you go show them some love on the Bird app, my friends. Of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We are approaching 320 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz is on the channel. Make sure you show these artists and show some love, baby. Yeah. ZDCK1, hi, can you rate the remix? Submissions are currently closed for this week's episode, but if you'd like to submit for episode 232, we do take submissions on Twitter every single Tuesday. Make sure you go check out our socials and stay up to date with all of our submission information. And yeah, like I said, I agree on Wuka. I totally agree. Let's see. So we left off with the homie Sketchy Face. Up next is the homie Offspring Mysterious. Now, Offspring Mysterious, a multi-talented artist, designer, engineer, writer, editor, filmer, videographer, multiple things. They came through the new YouTube upload titled "A Start to My New Adventure." Offspring Vert. I am so down. Let's see what Offspring cooked up for this week's upload, man. I'm very down. I'm very down. Thumbnail's definitely insane as well. All right, let's go full volume. 720. 10 days ago. Great description as well. Always have the background. Yep, that's solid. Songs in there. Excellent. We love that. All right, let's get into it. Offspring Mysterious, Offspring Vert. Let's go. Offspring is just listening to a banger. His wife who fits me so tough. Yeah, no, Offspring has that shit on. Offspring definitely has that shit on. That's for sure. Oh shit. Oh hell. Police. Oh shit. What's going down? Kind of interested now. With the hood, okay. Yep. Wow, have we seen this spot before? Might be a new location. Wow. Oh shit. Oh. He's like, yo. Oh, he was at work. He was daydreaming. I get it. Okay. Okay. Okay, I get it now. All right. I see. I see. Yeah, right. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, totally. Totally. What a good spot for this too. Looks like it was filmed a while ago. When did this drop? Dropped in June, but there's still leaves on the ground. Interesting. Offspring sitting on some bangers, eh? Oh, he's peacing out. Shit. He just dips off. Fire. Wow. I see the vision. I like it a lot. Cause like Offspring taking somebody else's song to use, but like, obviously they like it enough to actually use it and film and edit with it. This is kind of the result of it. And like even Offspring kind of like going through their own footage here at the start, I feel like this is a really like interesting way to incorporate um new scenes, new edits, new kind of ideas, right? new storylines could like really come from this, because Offspring has been using their own music for quite some time, and that doesn't mean that they need to stop using their own music. I just feel like this is another genius thing to do, you know, because obviously Offspring is kind of like taking songs that they like and figuring out how they can incorporate into the Walking Onslaught's kind of world and Offspring's world in general, right? So I feel like this is a good play. I feel like this is a really good play. I like the idea a lot, and the whole video was really centered around it, right? So I feel like Offspring did a really good job. And the fact that this was like filmed a while ago and Offspring just kind of sat on it, I feel like this was awesome. Really well done. And like the editing, like for the whole music video part, I feel like, you know, that's got to be the shining star, right? I mean, there's just no way. I mean, the whole edit for it was just super fucking solid, like from start to finish. Just had that fun kind of like chill out kind of vibe and almost like retro, you know what I mean? And Offspring kind of like put their own spin on it. It was a very Offspring type of edit. I feel like they did a really good job. You know what I mean? So for me, it was definitely the music video section and the editing in general. That's definitely the shining star here, for sure, no doubt. I like the direction, my friend. I like that. And even referring back to their caption, start to my new adventure. Love that. Good for you. Well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to the homie Offspring Series. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go sub to their channel. They're only 2 subs away from 240 on YouTube. And of course, make sure you go follow Offspring Series on Twitter. They're only 2 followers away from 810. So make sure you go show them some love over there as well on the Bird app. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 320 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and all the good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Get it. All right. Let's do it, my friends. That was cold. I agree. Offspring always likes to get a little creative with it, you know. But let's see here. So we left off with the homie Offspring Mysterious. Up next is the homie Onwuka. Now, Onwuka had a crazy submission last week, and Onwuka, being a very talented hip hop artist, has came through the track titled "Forever Never Happened." And they said in the caption, "Hitting y'all with the other Mixwell track, Forever Never Happened. Track where he vents about his love life in a sense. Then I hop in talking about fate and a little flex of rapping to start playing." So, oh yeah, okay. So this is about to be a crazy mix right here. Okay. Because like I said, last week's submission from Onwuka was actually very stellar, as usual. But this is actually the first time that we reacted to Mixwell as well. So this will be very interesting. All right, I'm down. Mixwell, Onwuka, Forever Never Happened. Let's go. Yeah, big shout out Mixwell. He vents and I just gotta flex a funny verse. Nah, I'm down. I'm excited. Let's get into it. Like that clap.
Forever never happened, so you know I stay rapping. Tomorrow never happened, love now, what is traction? Forever never happened, so you know I stay rapping. Tomorrow never happened, love now, what is traction? Caught up on some bullshit and it had me tripping, yeah.
Wow.
Tell me why the pretty ones always need a prescription, bruh. Brought up on some real shit and she had me sipping, yeah. Tell me why the blondes always hate addiction, bruh. This life is too short to be stepping in that drama. Play 'em like a sport, don't need no baby mama. Queens of every sort, make 'em moan like the opera. My Mac even when I'm short, yeah, they call me showstopper. Cause I'm always going and the preacher says I'm lost and sin like I'm a creature. But I usually go deeper when they just pretend like sweeter. Cause she always asks again, yeah. Rhymes neater cause I always ask for spam, yo. Felt harder than a tidal wave, but then it all got overplayed. Nothing but music can make me feel that way. Felt harder than a tidal wave, but then it all got overplayed. Nothing but music can take the pain away. Yeah.
Okay.
Forever never happened, so you know I stay rapping. Tomorrow never happened, love now, what is traction? Forever never happened, so you know I stay rapping. Tomorrow never happened, love now, what is traction? Forever never happened, so you know I stay rapping. Tomorrow never happened, love now, what is traction? Forever never happened.
Oh shit.
Stay like mouse, stoic brain, stoic cigarettes, celebrating smiles. Classic sayings they can't copy or even trace my style. Tasmanian Tampa when I brought walk that thing is wild. We call like a desert eagle pop when she came came around. Posted up like Jokic Nugget, passing we just tame the crowd. Like some zombies stuck and trapped in the mall, hear that banging sound. When we make it to town, and the blood dates around. Mix ball mixing it up with the blind side. Not for me, not St. Lucas, Dr. Uma, that is a wrong hide. But my mag and the lyrics ain't black, brown, yellow, and Jewish. Like a game on your Switch, who you wanna smash and choose? Yes, up to you, either the acting foolish. I'll feel bond like sliding stuff on these tricks like you're Sean White. Forever never happened. Mixed ball on Wooka rapping. Our stories are never ending like those movies with that dragon.
Forever never happened, so you know I stay rapping. Tomorrow never happened, love now, what is traction? Forever never happened, so you know I stay rapping. Tomorrow never happened, love now, what is traction?
Ooh, man. Okay. Wow. Yeah, like I said last week, man, this is a really, really solid duo that I like, to be honest with you. Like, this is a really good duo. They just sound really solid together on tracks. And, like, this is one of those features that kind of comes in and really, like, helps the song, like, turn into a different direction, but stay on course at the same time. That's what I like about Onwuka's verses, is it keeps the same pace, but it's a little bit more flavorful as well. And it just branches out a bit. And that's what I feel like everybody wants in a feature, you know? You kind of bring your own sauce on the track, so... well done. All right, let's talk about it. Let's break it down. So we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Forever Never Happened. So, let's talk instrumental. So, instrumental choice off the rip, absolutely fantastic. It definitely has that like hard, almost like darker trap style, but still has that like alternative flavor a little bit with the melody. So I do like the instrumental choice, definitely. Instrumental mix though, really on point, really on point. I love the mix of the instrumental. Everything's super crisp and tight, super well rounded. Levels were solid, quality was good, sound selection was good. Both of the vocalists sound really solid on the instrumental. Yeah, really no gripes with the instrumental mix at all. Definitely not. I like the drums a lot though. So instrumental mix solid. Instrumental shining star. I do like the melody a lot, like I said, but I might have to go with the drums. I don't know, man, because the melody's up there. Melody's very catchy, very liable to get stuck in your head. But the drums are so nice, and when each verse comes in with the 808, it's just so on point. Let's go drums, even though you could argue the melody and the structure there for sure. But let's go drums, 100%. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix, fantastic actually. Both mix and Onwuka sound really solid on this, especially for something from 2023 as well. Not like super old, but not like super brand new either. So obviously some time has passed, but it aged pretty well, you know. So real no gripes with the vocals here on this at all. They definitely both have solid, like really solid like natural voices, but also like it's still crispy. Levels are still good, the quality's still there, so they hit that nice middle ground together, which I like a lot. The vocal mix, definitely up there. No gripes at all. Vocal shining star. Probably writing for both of them, to be honest with you. Or the flow and cadence, though. You could kind of like argue flow and cadence and delivery as well. But I feel like they both wrote their ass off for this. I feel like this was like two really solid verses from these two. Yeah, let's go writing and lyrics for both, definitely. Even though flow and cadence and delivery was up there. So, instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the writing and lyrics. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. Forever Never Happened. A very interesting kind of cover here, but I like it though. It's very aesthetically pleasing, and it has like the blocks filling in, like kind of like one of those classic games, but also like has that Forever Never Happened text at the top mid, and then Onwuka and Mixwell in the top or in the bottom left and the bottom right. Very simple but effective single cover, especially with like the desert in the background, you know, kind of implying that, you know, it goes on forever kind of thing. And the blocks just kind of closing it in. A very symbolic kind of cover, but it gets the job done for a single, for sure. So aesthetics on point. Overall theme, Forever Never Happened. Onwuka sounds off about it pretty well here. Track where he vents about his love life in a sense, right? And then I hop in talking about fate and a little flex rap and start some, some more kind of romance, sort of like a play kind of stuff, which I think is solid as well. Um, the overall theme, I feel like they both mixed their perspectives really well. But I think Onwuka came through as like the perfect feature on this because Mixwell had like that more of like a serious tone to it, and then Onwuka came in and took that tone and like doubled down on it, but also kind of like gave their like Onwuka funk flavor to it, which I felt like was perfect for a feature. Like sometimes when features hop on songs, they just add something very special to a track that otherwise would be pretty standard. You know what I mean? So I like the feature on this one a lot, and the track as a whole, like I said, this is a really solid duo. So we definitely need more of these two, 100%. So well done, my friends. Well done. Huge shout out to homie Mixwell and Onwuka. Make sure you go follow them both on Spotify. And of course, make sure you go follow Onwuka on Twitter. They're only 8 followers away from 730. So make sure you go show them some love over there on the Bird app. Of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be links in the description of the YouTube upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 320 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel, man. So make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love. Let's get it, baby. Try to hit with some extra flavor on the collabs. I agree, and it shines through. It shines through. It totally shines through. Song's insane. Yeah, definitely. This is a really, really, really great collab, especially for 2023. I agree. Actually, my partner that I met when we were like 15 both ended up rapping. Yeah, it's just like a natural kind of duo almost there, for sure. Kind of like a natural duo vibe, 100%. That's sick, I agree. Thanks, Major. You're very welcome. Thank you for the submission, my friend. Of course. Well done. All right, let's see here. So we finished off with the homie Onwuka. Up next is the homie Heavy Metaphors. Heavy Metaphors is a Music Mondays veteran. They've been submitting to the show since I think like 2023 or 2022. Heavy's been around for quite a while. So this week, Heavy Metaphors, a very talented alternative multi-genre producer, came through the track titled Neon Demons with the homie Bear Decks. Well. All right. Let's see what we got here, my friends. We got a YouTube link. I'm down. Let's pop this open in a new tab and let's see what we got here. Give it a quick pause, Rooney, and then we'll get back to those over there. Okay, so like I said, it's been a while since we heard from Heavy Metaphors, my friends. I think we've heard from them like once or twice in 2025, but it hasn't been a lot. But I'm down. Let's get into it. Heavy Metaphors, Neon Demons with the homie Bear Decks. Let's go. Oh yeah. Very gnarly. Damn. Little underwater. Damn. Wow. What a journey that was. Holy shit. Good God. Oh, wow. That was something. That was fucking something. Well done. Well done. That was an impressive track for Heavy Metaphors to come back with. You know what I'm saying? Well fucking done. Lots to discuss here. So let's talk about it. Let's break it down. We're gonna talk about two things because obviously no vocals. So we're gonna talk about the instrumental and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Neon Demons. So, instrumental. Let's talk mix. So obviously, Heavy Metaphors with Beardex, mix is really solid. There's no way that this mix would have been kind of shitty for them. No way, not at all. Not with these two working on the track. Usually, Heavy Metaphors has a really really solid mix, and then of course, for those of you that know Beardex, you know Beardex. So yeah, not really a shocker there for the instrumental mix whatsoever. So instrumental mix. With that said, super solid. Nothing clashy to overbearing. I feel like the structure worked really well with the mix. The melodies work really well with the drums. Nothing that I would really gripe about on this one at all. Definitely not. Especially with like a lot of smaller effects that you find throughout the instrumental. Really solid. Really, really solid. Especially the underwater effects, right? I mean, everything just rising and coming down. I feel like it was really, really well thought out. So no gripes with the instrumental mix. No way. Definitely not. Instrumental Shining Star. If I don't say structure, that's probably pretty crazy. I do like the drums and the melodies though, but the structure is just super on point. I mean, we're clocking in at what 319, and it's perfectly well structured out. Like it's just using every ounce of this 3 minutes perfectly. You know, again, a really well thought out structure. So I'm gonna go structure here, 100%, no doubt. You could argue drums or the melodies, but I like the structure on this one a lot. So, instrumental solid, definitely structure. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. You know, Heavy Metaphors always does a really good job with some of their smaller promo pieces. If you go out through their YouTube channel or anything like that, they do really well kind of making visualizers or just creating small visuals for themselves that are kind of like entertaining in the background. You know, it's not necessary, but you go the extra mile for some of your singles and some of your YouTube uploads. It definitely keeps the viewer entertained, right? So, I feel like Heavy Metaphors does a good job. And plus, it looks sick either way, you know? So, aesthetics definitely on point. uh Overall theme, Neon Demons, it definitely has that like dark, almost cyber fast pace with a little bit of like trap style in there, but it's like mixing a few genres, but it does have that like dark cyber feel to it for sure. You know, Neon Demons or kind of like a robot feel, you know. Definitely. Or even somewhat of like a space like kind of. So, I definitely get the feel of Neon 100%. So, well done my friends. Well done. Huge shout out to homie Heavy Metaphors. Make sure you go sub to their YouTube channel. They're only um 8 subs away from 140, so make sure you go show them some love over there on the tube. And of course, make sure you go follow Heavy Metaphors on Twitter. They're only 8 followers away from 950. Make sure you go show them some love over there in the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be links in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 320 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and all that good jazz over there. Channel. Make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. Alrighty, my friends. Let's see here. So, we left off with the homie Heavy Metaphors. Up next is the homie Braden. Now, Braden has came through with a brand new single actually, which is going to be very very interesting. You know, Braden, a multi-genre talented artist, has had a stellar 2025 from their recent album to their collaborative efforts to their smaller projects. They've just done a shit ton of stuff this year, which has been fantastic to see. Because we're only 6 months into the year, but Braden came through with No Stylist, and their caption was "Back to single season. I'm down." So we got a quick little single from the homie Braden. Bet. All right, let's see what we got here. Braden, No Stylist, June 10th, literally came out 13 days ago, so brand new. Let's get into it. Oh God, holy shit. Holy shit.
Only fought to take it private. Lately I'm moving in silence. I got ice on because of the climate. Pockets fat, they gon' go on a diet. She up her purse, she acting like she dying. I know she gon' survive it. One day then I buy it. I got drip, don't need no stylist. You acting zesty, but you broke. They tapping XT on my post. We are not besties, we not bros. Bitch, why you friend me, you a hoe. My testies, you too slow. Bitch, you can't take my flow. Bitch, you can't fuck these hoes. I cannot fuck with my clones. I need to impress somebody. I ain't gotta go press somebody. This is success I'm watching. Don't care if I make love to somebody. I need to address anybody.
Instrumental is insane.
Go stress somebody. I'ma go and finesse somebody. They know that I'm up next on Gotti. They hate on me when I step in the booth. I know you think that you got something to prove, but you just mad that I ain't better than you. Bitch, I mean more cheddar than you. You a turtle, I'm a shredder to you. I go crazy when I enter the booth. Bitch boy, I get it wetter than you.
I'm a shredder to you is crazy. Locking in at a minute 27, I can see why. That's a very, very experimental kind of track. You know, the instrumental is just very distorted, and Braden has no fear. You know, that's the thing about Braden is they'll literally hop on anything and literally like attempt to put the Braden bow around it, you know what I mean? And most of the time they do a good job, including this one, you know. Braden actually like outdid the instrumental, which is fucking crazy because that one is nuts. That one is really, really nuts. But well done either way. Well fucking done. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. So we're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're talking about vocals. We're gonna talk about the overall theme of No Stylist. So, instrumental mix. With that said, as unconventional and experimental as it is, I do like the mix. I'm not gonna lie to you. I definitely do like the mix. So, you know, nothing super clashy, too overbearing. Even though the melodies were kind of still out there, and the sound selection was a bit kind of nutty, but I still think it worked together, you know. And then Braden kind of sat nice on top of it. So not too many gripes with the mix there at all, especially with the quality. So instrumental mix definitely solid. Instrumental shining star. You know, probably the melodies, just because they were so experimental and unique. Like, you'll never forget an instrumental like that. Definitely not. Definitely not. It was almost like corrupt Pokemon. Like, you know, that was like the first thing that came to mind. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna go melodies on this one for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the melodies. Let's talk vocals. Actually, Braden sounds really good on this. To be honest with you, it definitely has that Braden kind of crispy style, but also their vocals sit nice on the. Nothing that I would really, really ultimately change on this, especially like levels and quality wise. You know what I mean? So, nothing really too much to gripe about when it comes to their vocal mix on this. Definitely not. So, vocal shining star, probably the writing. To be honest with you, there's a lot of funny bars in here. There's a lot of bars in here that I just thought were, you know, clever, but also kind of trolly. You know, Braden does a really good job at like balancing like serious lyrics and then kind of like trolly fun joke lyrics, you know. So I'm gonna go writing and lyrics on this one, definitely. So instrumental solid, definitely the melodies. Vocal solid, definitely the writing and lyrics. Let's talk theme. No stylist. Aesthetics, definitely going with the blue filter again, but we got the selfie kind of like slightly distorted in the background, and then like it's like Braden holding their phone, you know what I mean? So I feel like this one almost like more like ethereal and creepy, but also like gets the job done for a single for sure. And then you're gonna add to the rest of the blue collection, right? So aesthetics definitely on point. Definitely. Overall theme for No Stylist. I mean, obviously you know you have the No Stylist bar in there, but it's definitely Braden kind of writing their best on an unconventional experimental kind of instrumental. You know, so you get to hear the best of Braden on an instrumental that's like literally crazy. You know what I mean? So it really proves Braden's versatility when it comes down to being an artist. You know, so well done, my friend. Huge shout out to homie Braden. Thank you so much for the submission. Much love. Make sure you go follow Braden on Spotify, by the way, and of course, make sure you go follow Braden on Twitter. They are only 6 followers away from 10, so make sure you go show them some love. That's their new Twitter, so go over there and show them some love. Of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. Of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are approaching 320 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week. Every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. You already have. Thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. Let's go. All right, my friends. Up next is the homies over at Slug Boys ENT. Now, they came through with another Wesley Rocco collab, which dropped on Friday, or I sent it in earlier. Thank you for providing a space for so many awesome artists to be heard. Yeah, of course, man, of course. Now, Slug Boys ENT, wonderfully talented group, and they've been collabing with Wesley Rocco and their whole crew, and you know, that caption always means a lot, man. Always means a lot to us, for sure. And of course, man, we do this every single Monday, you know, so we love it. We absolutely love it, and we wouldn't do it if it wasn't for you guys either. You know what I mean? So absolutely. So you know, Slug Boys ENT came through the track titled Demons Out with homie Wesley Rocco. So let's pop it over a new tab. Let's see what we got. I'm down. So the homies over at Black Brains and then Wesley Rocco. Okay. I'm down. This actually came out like they said 3 days ago. And never worry about submitting late because submissions close quite literally the day of the show. So you have about like 6.5 days or so to submit. So never worry about submitting late. But let's get into it. Wesley Rocco, Black Brains, Demons Out. Let's go.
Slugs never die.
Back again for blood, call the cleaners down. Dropping all the songs, make the ladies wanna scream and shout. Got them beating now, this the nightmare that you dream about. Stomping through the city and we finna bring the demons out. Back again for blood, call the cleaners down. Dropping all the songs, make the ladies wanna scream and shout. Got them beating now, this the nightmare that you dream about. Stomping through the city and we finna bring the demons out. Psycho, like no other motherfucker hit the nitro. Lights go, flashing different colors, been a mainstay in this bitch. I ain't gon' play around with suckers. Fuck your sister, fuck your brother, fuck your old ass fucking mother. Yeah, I'm locking in my will to win. Finna go and kill again, on my own like Gilligan. Pay my dues, but paint a pen. Living in this world of sin. Finna make these devils grin. Put that on my fellow kid, I'm crashing out and cutting limbs. Fuck the lame ass government. Slug boys on some other shit. Democrat, Republican, we taking all your puppets, bitch. Ain't no way around it, you been fucked right from the start. Finna tear this fucker down and start eating bitches' hearts, yeah.
Holy fuck.
Call the cleaners down, dropping all the songs, make the ladies wanna scream and shout. Got them beating now, this the nightmare that you dream about. Stomping through the city and we finna bring the demons out. Go berserk on any turf, they know I'm paid, I show my worth. Still the greatest on this earth, don't test me, you might end up hurt. Getting quick cash, big racks, make my pockets fat. Getting whiplash, get back, before I get the gap. Leave these fans astonished, never stopping, bitch, we on it. Raining fire like a comet, all these rappers just my targets. Taking names and fucking lead, leaving all these fuckers dead. Storming through your residence, finna start collecting heads. Spitting out blood and pain for this, killing them seeds, we dangerous. Enemies can contain these hits, dropping bombs, we don't aim to miss. Bitterness, cut the lights out, got killers round like it's knives out. You ain't kidding me, set your life out. I'm the last one standing right now, little bitch. Back again for blood, call the cleaners down. Dropping all the songs, make the ladies wanna scream and shout. Got them fiending now, this the nightmare that you dream about. Stomping through the city and we finna bring the demons out. Yeah,
holy fuck.
For blood, call the cleaners down. Dropping all the songs, make the ladies wanna scream and shout. Got them fiending now, this the nightmare that you dream about. Stomping through the city and we finna bring the demons out, bitch.
Whoa. See, that's what's fucked. That was crazy. That was fucking crazy. I believe their last couple of submissions have been equally as nuts. Especially their stuff with Wesley, man. Like, wow. Wow, 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 wow. All right. Much to say here. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. So, we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Demons Out. So, um, hmm. Off rip instrumental mix is almost flawless. You know, everybody's vocals sat nice on this, but the thing is too, is like the drums and the melodies were perfectly loud, but not too loud. Levels were nice, quality was fantastic. I mean, I can't even think back on any gripes I had whatsoever. Like, I don't think you could get that instrumental mix like any more on point. Um, I'm big on the instrumental mix for sure. So instrumental mix, definitely no gripes. Instrumental Shining Star, this one's gonna be kind of tough because I do like the melody. I do like the melody, but the drums again, man, fast paced, hard hitting, in your face, really, really good sound selection. I mean, it's kind of hard not to say the drums, man. It really keeps up the attitude of the song. So, for me, let's go drums. Go drums. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix again, very, very solid. Gritty, little bit of mud in them, but also clear, clean, crisp. Very tight around the edges. Nothing I would like ultimately change about the vocal mix either. But it's definitely doing its job when it comes down to like the gritty style of this track and the lyrics, right? So, and again, nothing clashing, too overbearing. Vocals sit nice in the instrumental. Everything cuts through nicely. So, really can't have any gripes about this one at all. Vocal mix solid. Vocal Shining Star, man. I'm really torn between the writing and lyrics and the flow and cadence and delivery. The hook is definitely up there too, but I think the flow and cadence is really, really nutty. Flow and cadence is definitely something that could get stuck in your head. So let's go flow and cadence and delivery. Even though writing and lyrics, you could totally argue the same, totally a close second, but let's go flow and cadence and delivery for sure. So instrumental mix or instrumental Shining Star, definitely the drums. Vocal Shining Star, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics, very much on point. I mean, you know, for something called Demons Out, it almost has that like Inuyasha like 90s anime kind of flavor to it. It has Wesley Rocco Demons Out, Prod by the Homies, and then Demon Masters sound. That logo in the top right's actually really sick too. And then you have like the 18 plus down bottom left. I mean, really perfect for a single, but hits that like a 90s kind of vibe for sure. So I like the aesthetics on this one a lot. And the red just keeps up with like the anger kind of theme, and not really like anger kind of theme, but it's a very rough kind of like get up and go kind of it's go time kind of track. You know, definitely a perfect gym track or something you're cruising like late at night to, or totally something just to get like the crowd or the party or whoever is DJing kind of bumping. Like this is one of those like get active kind of songs for sure. And like I said, and with that said, that pretty much is the theme. Is you know overall theme Demons Out. One of those party, get active, get in your face, kind of like get rowdy kind of tracks, but also one of those tracks that's like still very serious at the same time. You know what I mean? It's one of those ones that you could like really kind of focus on and one that hypes you up and makes you focus. You know, so well done, my friends. Well done. Huge shout out to Wesley Rocco and Black Brains. Make sure you go follow both of them on Spotify. And of course, make sure you go follow Slugboys ENT on Twitter. They're approaching 920 followers. They upload. They're literally only 7 followers away from 920. So make sure you go show them some love over there on the bird at my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you have not already. We're approaching 320 subscribers. We upload 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazz over there on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love, baby. Let's get it. Alrighty, my friends. That concludes episode 231 of the Music Mondays podcast. We had a stellar fucking show. Let's give some shout outs. Let's show some love. Let's talk about our next coming week. And you guys know the deal. Let's close it out. And let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. So, once again, a huge shout out to everybody that came through and showed love in the motherfucking chat, man. You guys are fucking wonderful individuals. Thank you. Anybody else that lurked, chilled, came through, I appreciate it, man. A huge shout out to let's scroll up to the top here. Shout out to the homie Ghost, shout out to the homie TDG, shout out to homie Onwuka, and anybody else who lurked and chilled. Shout out that the first time chatter here, ZDCK, huge shout out to you, man. Make sure you come back if you want to. And again, yeah, like I said, huge shout out to anybody else that lurked and chilled, even if you just came through and just wanted to tab up the stream, man. Thank you. We appreciate it here at Music Mondays. Let's see here. So, you guys know the drill, man. Submissions will be live for next week's show tomorrow, episode 232. Make sure you follow us on social media at All Music Mondays to stay up to date with everything that we do have going on here on the platform and on the show. And again, per usual, make sure that you go follow us on socials, like I said, to stay up to date with everything else that we do have going on. And make sure you stream all the Music Mondays podcast episodes on anchor.fm/allmusicmondays. You can go find every single podcast episode over there and check out the history of the Music Mondays podcast, man. So definitely go check those out. Go show those some love. Let's see here. Outside of that, like I said, stuff in the coming weeks, summer event stuff for sure. Submissions will be live tomorrow, like I said. SoundCloud Sunday submissions will be open Wednesday. New article on Friday, and we'll be having a really stellar week, man, as we close up June. So much love to all you guys. You guys are fucking fantastic. We have the best community on quite literally planet Earth, especially in the underground. So much love to you guys. We have the best fucking community, and like I said, much love. Let's see. So what else am I forgetting? I don't think I'm forgetting anything else. Like I said, just make sure you follow Music Mondays on all of our social media. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, wherever you're at, Music Monday there. Make sure you go follow us on your preferred social. And of course, I stream 5-6 days a week, so make sure you come through the stream and make sure you come support the kid. We're always doing watch party stuff. I'm going to be getting back into some speedrunning stuff, and we're just always fucking live. Make sure you come support the channel. Make sure you follow, subscribe below. Everything linked below. All the socials, all the good jazz is linked down below. And it's your boy Zom Slays, man. I love you all. Take care. Be safe. I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll see you next week for episode 232 of the Music Mondays podcast. I love you. Take care. Be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow.